Alright, what's up? MKBHD here, and along with all the other stuff that's happening in Techtember and Techtober, 2020 is also a new console release year for both the big ones. So all the hype and fanfare and excitement that comes from all that is also upon us now. I figured since I did do a first look and impressions at the PS5 when we got that announcement and everything, it's only fair that I also take a look at these guys too, the new Xboxes. And they are very box-like. So Microsoft sent over these two new Xboxes without the guts in them, and we know all the pricing and availability, which is actually more than we knew about the PlayStation during that video. So this, according to Microsoft, is final hardware, final materials, final design, all that stuff, just without the computer stuff inside. So Xbox Series X will be $499, and Xbox Series S will be $299, both coming November 10th. And this is a bit of a different strategy from what Sony's doing with the PS5. So we just got the PlayStation prices as well. For them, it's $399 for the digital-only version with no optical drive, and $499 for the full PS5. And other than the drive, there's no real differences between these two consoles. But with the two different new Xboxes here from Microsoft, as you can probably imagine, it's a bit of a different strategy here for them. To me, a more interesting launch strategy. So here's a high-quality first look at these. I wanted to show them next to each other, first of all, with some scale so we can understand how ridiculously small both of them are, which is sweet. But let's start with the Xbox Series X. So this is the flagship. It's the matte black box, the main console. If I'm being honest, it does look pretty plain, but that's what a lot of people want under their TVs. That's why a lot of people don't want like an alien spaceship looking thing. But yeah, matte black everything here, and I like it with just the slightest hint of green up here in the top. I think a lot of people first saw that and thought it was a light. Would have been cool if it was lights, but it's not. It's just paint, but it is a pretty cool paint pattern inside the holes here. Also, side note, no, this doesn't trigger my trypophobia, but if it does for you, you probably shouldn't get one. You know how sometimes the holes in some weird things can be a little weird looking? I don't know. Anyway, okay, so as far as the horizontal versus vertical debate, I think the way this console is meant to be oriented is vertical, just because it does have one giant fan here at the top. Hot air rises, and so that fan spins and exhausts hot air at the top, kind of like the trash can Mac Pro from back in the day, 2013. But it also can technically be on its side like this. It does have the little nubs at the bottom, so if you want to fit it under a TV or inside a little box you've got your TV sitting on, it can do that too. So horizontal or vertical, it's up to you. Also, all the labeling for the ports on the back are sideways as well, so it's totally fine being sideways. Either way, it's still just gonna look like a plain black box. So, optical drive on the front with the eject button. The Xbox logo is still the power button, and down at the corner at the front is the USB port for controller charging and the controller sync button for wireless controllers. Then around the back, it's giving me two USB ports, an Ethernet port, storage expansion port, and HDMI. And there's some more ventilation all across the back here, like a cheese grater, and even one more slot up here near the top. And that's about what we expected. And we'll get to what's inside in a second. So then, Xbox Series S here is a matte white with a black circular ventilation grill. And honestly, I really like the look of this one here. This is probably my favorite looking out of all the new consoles. And this one's been a little more polarizing. We're not sure yet how well this will stay white over time. Will it yellow a bit or get dirty? I don't know. But I just think this one looks cleaner and more modern. Maybe it's just me. And then again, two possible orientations here. This one is, it appears, intended to be sideways like this because, again, the ventilation's coming out the top. And when we took it apart a little bit, I actually opened the bottom and it looks like the CPU and the air cooler are right underneath this. So this is, again, hot air rising, ventilation goes out the top like that, but does have the nubs at the bottom, so it can sit up vertical and look like this little monolith that it is. There's also plenty of other ventilation on each side with this one, plenty of holes. And then on the back, there's Ethernet, two USB ports, HDMI, and the storage expansion port again. And I can't stress how small this console is. The footprint is small, it's gonna fit under a TV easily. Obviously there's no disk drives here, so it saves a lot of volume there. But yeah, if it weren't for the stuff I'm about to tell you, I would wanna grab this pretty much instantly over the Series X. But as you may imagine, there's more to it than just the looks. there are different computers inside of each of these. Microsoft is aiming to deliver the same exact identical experience, but at 2 different resolutions. And that's why there's different computers required to achieve each. So Xbox Series X will deliver 120 frames per second at 4K, while the white Xbox Series S will achieve 120 frames per second at 1440p. And that is what they're hoping to accomplish. That's the difference here. So the rest of the experience will all be identical. They'll both have the same 8-core CPU. They both have ray tracing. They both do variable refresh rate up to 120 FPS. But graphically, of course, less power is needed to hit 1440p. So the Series S has less graphical power, a different GPU, and it also only has 10 gigs of RAM instead of 16. So my take is, for most people who don't have a 4K TV at the moment, the $300 Xbox Series S is going to be fine. Again, 120 FPS. I think the frame rate, as we can all agree, in gaming is more important. Now, I love myself a crispy screen, of course. I'm a different customer. But if you can get it plugged into a high refresh rate monitor, it's going to look amazing. It's almost as portable as a laptop. So maybe not bringing it everywhere like a laptop, but the idea is FPS over resolution. And also, most people still don't have a 4K TV. But for people like me, who also really love resolution, who have a 4K TV already, or who think they might get a 4K TV in the next 3, 4, 5 years when you have these consoles, you're probably going to want to splurge for the Series X, and then it will do 4K also. And then last but not least, the Series X has 1 terabyte of storage, and the Series S has half a terabyte of storage. Again, they're both expandable via those ports I showed you, but something to keep in mind if you're getting the digital-only version. So yeah, the strategy of offering a cheaper Xbox undercutting all of the currently available PlayStations, at least at launch anyway, is a really interesting one. But then again, I wonder how many people will actually buy the cheaper one over the more expensive one, because when you divide out the cost of the console over the 3, 4, 5 years you'll probably have it, it's probably not that big a deal to just go for the $200 extra and have the future-proof console. So I don't know. I like the digital-only one. I like the look. I think it's sleek, but let me know what you think in the comments section below, which one you would get, or if you're in PlayStation camp like I have been. I'm curious. Anyway, that's basically it. Thanks for watching. Also, let me know what you think of these shorter impression-style videos on stuff like this in the comments below. I'll be hanging out down there. Okay, thanks for watching. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.